Hope this works. It says I'm live. Alright. Perfect. Hello, everybody on my main YouTube channel. Welcome back. It's me, Lindsie Star. You guys do me a favor, please hit that like button down below. If you are new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure notifications are definitely turned on, and thank you. Anyway, and first of all, I have to apologize. I forgot to release the second half of the video. I recorded, but I forgot to put it out because I really wanted to get to streaming. But yeah, actually, I'm just going to probably explain to you guys what's going on. As you guys don't know, I've been under a little bit craziness, and not to mention I've been very upset, but the reason what's going on is that I feel like there is somewhat of a betrayal. And I know you guys are worried about me and thinking, what's going on? And it's have to deal with my family. I mean, I hate to say this, but since my birthday, which was this past Sunday, I felt there was definitely wrong with both my parents. And I don't know, it's maybe because they're getting older or what. And I think I shouldn't have seen this coming, and I don't know. It would be something different, I should say. But what happened is, more than a couple of years ago, actually, yeah, about 3 years ago, I should start off with, my mother and my father really, I don't know, really acting so weird. And I think this whole started because of the wedding invitation, and everybody got a little bit crazy. I mean, yeah. I can't believe I used to say this, but I think 3 years ago was probably the best way to set this up right. So, if you guys didn't know, about 3 years ago, around this time I would say, or last month, I don't remember much, but we got the invitation, my mother got the invitation to attend the wedding of my mother's friend Cindy's son. And I told my mother she's not going because they're being so rude. And she completely ignored me, and she said she's going to. And I'm like, no, you're not. And I think that was the mad point. Because, first of all, I just don't know the bride very well. Actually, I don't know her at all, nor her father. And, you know, I know much about the groom, right? And the mother, and of course the brother. But, you know, believe me, we haven't seen much about them. But at the time, we knew that he was trying to become a police officer. Anyway, so what happened was during that summer, everything got a little bit out of control, and crazy enough, every time she mentioned about she's going to the wedding, I told her, you're not going, I forbid it. And it kept going crazy. And then, of course, the day of the wedding happened, and she went. I got very angry and took my anger out and frustration on a long walk, and despite my nearly half of my body was in pain, and I still had to walk to get dinner her, because I was in fact really crazy. So when my mother got home that night, she did not tell me much. She said, "Oh, the wedding was just okay," or something. But actually, I don't remember at all she's told me anything. Now, before that happened, for this more into this craziness, I had discovered something that, on her phone and nearly made me angry and upset, and the reason my mother didn't tell me about this. And she says she didn't tell me, and I saw photos she took of the wedding, and she took a photo of the older son actually performing the wedding ceremony. And my mother failed to mention that to me. And there are a lot of things I feel like she's trying to hold me out on. I mean, after all, there are things that she's holding out on me, and as much as things that my father probably holding things out on me. And, then sometimes I start to doubt that they're getting old, and they're getting crazy, and they're getting senile. But anyway, so my mother failed to mention that to me. Now let's fast forward to a little bit up to Thanksgiving of 2015. Apparently, the four of us, my mother, my estranged father, my brother, and me, we did not much have a nice dinner on Thanksgiving. The only thing I was mostly focusing was on my phone was to see what is going on with IWA Mid-South of Thanksgiving show, seeing how somebody's doing. I don't know why it was interesting for me, but you can say it was. And anyway, so apparently it got a little crazy because both my parents were in a drunken stupor. And how I define this as saying a drunken stupor is they're completely kind of drunk, but they still know what's going on, but they're still drunk. Anyway. And what happened was while this is happening, while they're eating as well, they decided to go way too far and bother my brother. And I think my brother did not want to hear about this. In fact, I believe he was humiliated. And believe me, it was not a good time to talk about things that should be discussed at home, sober, and I mean this, sober, about situations. Never do this in a public restaurant, and just don't say, "Oh, this is it." Do it in a public restaurant. It's a good thing. No, it's not. In fact, it's bad. Like, nobody needs to hear about this. So they kept going at it. I had to step up as being a big sister to protect her young brother. So, big older sister. I mean, no. I shouldn't say big, but older sister to protect her younger brother. So, what did I do to keep their mouths shut? I told them I had a crazy dream. And still, in a drunken stupor still, they thinking, "Oh, our daughter's a lesbian. Yay!" I'm like, what the crap is wrong with you? In fact, I'm going to tell you this. Christmas was no excuse. But what happened was on Thanksgiving, yes, I had to shut up my parents I know I shouldn't say shut up, but but what happened was my parents went a little bit too far, and they were trying to humiliate my brother in a restaurant. So what I had to tell them. I just said to them that I had a crazy dream that Sofia Vergara and her husband Joe Manganiello wanted to take me to a wrestling show. That's it. There was nothing weird about that. And my parents determined that I was a lesbian because of another woman. And by the way, I'm just, as of right now, I'm just letting you guys know, no, I'm not. And for my parents to think that way, they were, because they were completely drunk. When the fact is, I really like guys, truthfully. I mean, especially how this whole entire situation's going on, and why I broke down in tears. Anyway, so Christmas was no excuse. In fact, I think it was just terrible, all that they thinking it's okay to make fun of me because they believe in, Lindsay's a lesbian. How could it be a lesbian? When the fact is, how the heck that loves a guy? I'm sorry I'm crying like this right now, but I shouldn't be crying like this. Anyway, so yeah. So fast forward to 2016, and we are going to Florida, and to visit my grandmother because my mother had spoken to my aunt, and they feel like my grandmother does not have enough time because she's dying. And so in August, we went to go visit her in Florida. My mother got went to do that, pay $1,000 for the week to rent, and no hotel to go to because, I think it was bad enough. But anyway, so while we were in Florida and I was dealing with this, apparently I also had found out, well, around that time, even though I shouldn't say much about this because this is all about what's going on with my parents, but at that time when I was in Florida, I found out one of my favorite wrestlers, Tim Donst, he tweeted that his grandmother had died, and I gave him my sympathies for him, and I couldn't believe his grandmother had died while I'm in Florida and don't know when my grandmother was dying. So that week in August of 2016, everything fine till we came home. Once we got home, I noticed that my father had touched my clothing, and my room was kind of messed up, and I went completely crazy, and I had a total meltdown, and I lost my trust to my father. And he's not the only thing that he did. It's not just me, but he also did it to my brother and my mother. And sure enough, we were all angry at him. Around October, when we went back to Florida again, thankfully my father wouldn't do anything stupid. We got another house to rent, this time bigger, and to see most of my family, my uncle, and my two uncles and my aunt, who I haven't seen in years, years since my Aunt Lisa's wedding. And, plus the 3 cousins that I have heard about but never met before. And since the rest of the whole entire family couldn't come because, well, others in they're spending time with their families. Others were at school. But how the heck, and you guys are wondering, how the heck did I meet 3 of my cousins that I never met, but I couldn't meet the rest? Well, because the 3 cousins that belong to my uncle and my aunt, who lives in Texas, my aunt homeschools them. Yep. So that's how I get to see them. Even though the others, they were already in colleges. They either were in college or they are in, or they're married and having kids on their own. But yeah. And seeing my grandmother nodded off a couple of times. They're all concerned that she may go. And thankfully, during this whole entire week when we were there, that didn't happen. Anyway, so that was happening. Then around November, Thanksgiving happened. And we did not decide to do it with my father. And around Thanksgiving and Christmas, my mother was not feeling well. And it was kind of a bothersome. But then just last year, things went completely crazy. If you guys didn't know about this. But what happened was things happened, and it was not a good thing. And what I mean by it was was around March. My aunt called around 1 o'clock in the morning last year. Turns out my grandmother had died, and I was very angry and upset. So then around June, all the way up till June, we found out my mother had problem issues with her kidney. It was removed, and all of a sudden she feels better. And then July-ish, or August, I can't remember. No, it was July. We had a disaster of going to Atlantic City. And I know my mother means well, but I know that her coworker means well. Then September again, and we went to Florida to see my family. This time just my uncle, my aunt, my 2 uncles, my aunt, and my step-cousin. And it was kind of okay this time around. But Thanksgiving happened last year. It was terrible. In fact, there were a few things happen. One, my brother went to spend Thanksgiving with a woman. Didn't decide to tell us. 2, my mother decided to throw this on me, saying that we should spend Thanksgiving with my father, despite what he had done to us, as by harassing us and accusing us, and you want us to spend Thanksgiving with him because of what he called me and Jonathan, and something that you should never say in an email. Despite it was you who wanted to go outside. We did not force her. We did not force her at all. I don't know why my father brings up some delusions of grandeur, but yeah. But I was very angry and upset because how dare he think that way? Because he wasn't around to take care of her, and he accuses me of being a lazy person. Yeah, well, the next time, no, there won't be a next time, because the only person who took care of her was me and my brother. My strange father is in a delusion of grandeur. When he said that kind of stuff, saying that I forced her, he did. We didn't force nobody. And now you want us to spend Thanksgiving with him? That was just ugly. Apparently my father was so sorry. As I was trying to say is my father was completely crazy. Completely delusional. And yet my mother wants to spend Thanksgiving with him. It was terrible. And believe me, it got worse. When we were spending Thanksgiving, I felt uncomfortable. So was my mother. My father was talking about crazy stuff out of his mind because he was in a drunken stupor. All I wanted to do was just to eat and go home because I felt so totally uncomfortable. And if you guys were wondering if we're going to spend Thanksgiving with him, I'm just going to say no. We are not going to. Not with my estranged father because of his behavior. And if my mother brings up any reasons for this, I'm just going to remind her about what he did last year. Because, she was not uncomfortable, as I can tell. But, anyway. Then we fast forward to, a week ago. As you guys seen me sobbing, very upset. As I'm going to do now. And my mother lied to me. I know a lot of you guys are thinking, why did you believe that your mother would lie to you? Truth be told, it's because she didn't tell me that she saw him at the wedding. She didn't tell me that he was performing the wedding ceremony. In fact, she did not say anything about this. And yet she prevented me to go to the funeral. And I think the reason why is she doesn't want to see me to be in the mess. So, let me ask you guys this. Is it okay for somebody to do this to me? Or anybody? No. I know I'm starting to cry much, but understand that I've been very upset. And I'm trying to make things much better. And if it has to be watching anybody, and if it's What the? And no matter upon that, how I'm trying to make myself feel better, whether if it's playing playing games like Roblox, Minecraft, PUBG, Hearthstone, or watching anybody on YouTube and Twitch. And I mean, because I have a lot of people I watch, from Philip DeFranco to the Kleins, to Jordan Marin, and others. I could, because I've been a mess this last week. Anyway, the one thing for sure that I am very, very, very concerned about is there are a lot of people who I felt that I haven't seen in a while, and those who I had cared for, who I used to care for, and I mean used to. But what happened. My heart is now somewhat broken. And the only thing that it has to be, not was, but it will always be, to watch anybody. But sometimes things go not... excuse me, going well. And thinking about what is going on with my parents is really kind of bad. And it's been kind of a bothersome for me. And it's a kind of bothersome for anybody else. Thinking about what happened and back about a week ago, I realized that my mother was the fact that she wasn't much herself, and I don't know, but there might be something wrong with her. As much as I know there's something wrong with my father. Anyway, there are a lot of other things I'm going to be doing today besides, I know today I'm going to be streaming. I'm going to be doing Roblox today, probably at 3 o'clock. However, before then, I'm just probably going to go outside, have my head cleared out, or something. Although, thinking about what's going on, I mean, even though I got up really late, and it was really kind of ridiculous what's been going on. But understand stuff that I will tell you guys. It is much of a doubtful day that there's a lot of things going on in my mind. And rather, if it's people who make me feel upset and angry, to people who I care for, and to others who think that I'm just a terrible human being. It's just how it is for me. Anyway, I know a lot of you guys are concerned about me, and I know I'm really crazy, but understand one thing. That it's not just me, but there are others who are out there. And sure enough, you're all thinking, am I having somewhat of a meltdown? Not really. But it's just I don't know. It's just how it is. I know, I'm looking at my phone right now because I said it turn it on. Of course, there's one thing. That is of course, there are a lot of things to say. No matter what, if it's gaming, gamers that I watch, people who do news and stuff, and of course the usual wrestling, and of course Funko Pops. What? This is legit, man. Sorry if I scare you guys. But yeah, understand that, there are a lot of things have been going on through my mind. But I do appreciate all of you guys who are hearing me out. And anyway, I hope you guys all continue on showing your support to me. Make sure that you are following me on social media. Of course, I will be streaming again, like I said, on Twitch. That is twitch.tv/Miss Lindsie Star. And if you want to see, this is how many followers I have. See? Today I'm going to be streaming, there, it's a little more better. Today I'm going to be streaming, today I'm streaming, Roblox. Probably going to play one of Crainer's games that I saw on his channel. Or maybe something like that. I don't know. I will look into it. Oh yeah, and one other thing before I leave, and when you guys do me a favor. There's an Instagram account I want you guys to check out. It is called Claudio's Cafe, as you can see here. And it says here, follow my journeys to coffee. Wait. Follow me to my coffee shops around the world. A. Me equals Dirty Cesaro. No, and by the way, it's legit. Because it is good old Claudio Gastonoli. So yes, I follow him. And yes, it says me equals Dirty Cesaro. Neat. Oopsie. Dang it. And yes, it is Claudio. Hi, Claudio. And yes, to make sure you guys don't believe me. Oh yes, and there's Sheamus, there's Seth Rollins, oh, and my friend Valentina. Hi guys. Yeah. Yep, it's all about Claudio's Cafe, man. He has another this is the second post for it. It's called Spoon's Cafe in Baltimore, and he says breakfast and coffee goes together hand in hand, and it looks like to me he has it looks like eggs and toast with nice it looks like an espresso, and he has water. Oh, and wow, man, this looks so good. Curse you, Claudio Castagnoli. But wow, coffee espresso. Wow. Dang, Claudio. So yes, it really is Claudio Castagnoli. It is his, and yes, when it says me equals at Dirty Cesaro, it is really him. So you don't have to take my word for it. But anyway, guys, yeah, that's all I have to say about this. And I know you guys are kind of concerned about me, but it's just that I don't know how long I will be staying into this house when my family is pushing me to my limits. And despite how upsetting I am that after all this ugliness from last week, it's just terrible. Anyway, so I'm just letting you guys know how I am feeling right now. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys still stick around with me, and I do appreciate all of you. So if you guys can, please hit that like button down below. If you are new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure notifications are definitely turned on. And also, I want to give a shout out to my friend Valentina for being with me and seeing me going through this craziness. Because it's really kind of crazy of what's been going on in the last week or so. And hopefully this won't be the end of it. Because there are a lot of things I want to do outside of it. But it's going to be a long thing to do. So, anyway, thank you for watching. And I'll see you guys either tomorrow, or if you guys are going to be joining me on my Twitch channel, that is twitch.tv/MissLindsieStar. Go there, follow it, make sure notifications are also on there too, and let you know when I'm going to be streaming. And yes, I know I'm going to be playing Roblox today. So, anyway, hopefully to see you guys there, if not tomorrow. Anyway, guys, don't forget to like button, subscribe, follow me, and I will see you guys soon. Until then. And also, we are definitely on our way to 100 subscribers. Don't believe me? Let me show you my mobile version. Show you the mobile version of my channel. I have 85 subscribers. Can we get into the triple digits, or can we go higher than that? Maybe quadruple digits? Or 5 of it? Maybe 10? Okay, I'm pushing it. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. And I'll see you guys again soon. Till then. Bye.